So in this game, in Shock, we begin by creating this little grid. With three people, it's going to be mostly empty, but it's still pretty important. Um, the idea first is that one or more of us will invent a shock. And I already defined that earlier. It's the technological or sociological or whatever event that or thing that changes up life so much that it it's not just convenient or inconvenient, it actually changes. I mean, generation conflicts begin, right? Because of what's right and what's wrong, how changing, or old terms don't work as well anymore. So we only will have one shock for any given game of this anytime we play. And it's not constructed who makes it. But also, what's important is that somebody has to own the shock. That means they actually play its manifestation. And it doesn't matter who that is. It might be the person who made it up, or it might be someone else. And it doesn't limit what else you can do in the game. But we are able to turn to one person who, if I say, well, you know, does the artificial brain need a battery? That person says yes or no. Right. So um, so we move now, I suppose, to step one, which is to discover uh, what our shock is. It would be very tedious and boring for us to propose 10 of them and then debate which is best. It might be much more interesting if somebody just states one and we just use it. Um, there are thousands available on Netflix alone, right? If we just look, but you can either take one from pop media that we know, or you can make up a new one or some kind. Um,
You guys go ahead. I don't do TV.
well, this isn't TV, but this is whatever. But it's not primetime adventures. Um,
I'm not sure, like, um, if I understood right, like what kind of it is, but can we thing to do with aliens?
sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so it would be nice.
So you can say that the shock is contact with the aliens, with some aliens of some kind, or maybe the contact has come and you see you are the proposing the shock, so you will create. Let's see here. Um, you don't have to describe it because the owner will will take on the responsibility of characterizing the shock. So if you simply say that alien contact is going to be the shock, that's good enough, right?
Maybe could it be like that? It is confirmed that there are aliens living
Right.
on Earth.
Sure. Sure. So that's the shock. Good enough. Um, so we take this grid and write under the shock part on the line, aliens here on Earth. Right. So now each of us, and this Helma, you can't get out of this one. Each of us has to name a social issue, something about the way we live that is affected very strongly by this. So, here's a good example. In real life, the birth control pill becomes commercially available in 1961. By 1971, we have a huge generational crisis between parents and their children about the appropriate uh, situations of your first sexual contact. What was right for the parents isn't right for the kids, and they just do not, there's a lot of confusion and a lot of miscommunication. Or another good example, or to continue. So you would say somebody would say, "Hey, reproductive technology, reproductive control technology." If we were playing this in 1950, and and then somebody would write as an issue, uh, you know, uh, something like generational conflict, right, or something like that. So the issue can be real or made up, but the point is that it is shocked. Whatever that, the way the generations interacted with each other was shocked by the new technology. So each of us comes up with a social issue about what people do and how, and all we know about it right now is that the aliens being here on Earth completely, shatters it or calls so many things about it into question.
An issue would that be distrust of motivation or of motive?
No, that would be
Or
developing the aliens here on Earth by the owner. We need to be talking about something that isn't the aliens here on Earth, something that is just a social phenomenon.
so it's just the way society reacts to the news of them.
No, we're
Okay,
talking about something. Yeah, we're talking about something that doesn't refer to the aliens at all. The fact that you are
Oh,
picking it in the first
okay.
place means we will discover how the impact occurs. That's that's something that is developed later. So you might
True.
say something like, you might say aliens here on Earth, and then somebody might say something about, um, uh, I don't know. I mean, I know what I'm going to do. I'll give you an example,
Yes,
right?
please.
Um, all right, I'll go all the way. Divorce and fidelity, faithfulness in a relationship. I'm going to say that whoever these aliens are and how when what discovering that they are here and have been here is going to completely shock the way we talk and think, even different sides of a debate. It's going to, if there's a debate, there's going to be a shock to both sides. Um, Regarding how we get divorced and how what we consider faithful and unfaithful. I can't tell you how yet, but that is, I know that was shocked by these aliens.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, you could kind of, maybe the trouble is you're trying to explain it. In some ways, you could almost pick it at random. Almost. The only thing that really matters is that you're interested in the issue. You find the issue dramatically compelling.
Could something like food production?
Sure.
Is it enough,
Yeah,
or
food
does it
production,
need
maybe
more?
maybe food production and distribution because they cannot be right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, okay. The value of I'm not sure how to formulate this, but the value of work,
Ah, mhm,
if that makes sense.
sure.
So, so the way how we are um, both defining ourselves and the society defines how we are valued
Yeah. So you could
by
say
what we
that,
provide. Right.
You could use the classical term like the value of labor in the first place,
Yeah.
and there's probably nothing wrong with putting it that way because there are so many things that you know are involved. Okay, so yeah, so if I go in order, we have to come up with the owners for these things. Each of us will own an issue, and it doesn't have to be the one that you made up. And each of us, and then one of us will own the shock, and it doesn't have to be the person who made it up. It can be. So, so that is the question. Is there any one of the issues and or the shock that uh, that anyone wants to own?
Somebody repeat the issue that Hannah brought up. I'm sorry, I'm
Food
getting a
pro-
little.
that's okay. Food production and distribution.
Yeah, thanks.
Mhm. So if you own it, that means that you will invent the details of how it relates to play. You know, what sort of ways is this affected?
I
Mm.
can own any. I don't mind.
I know, but we have to decide. Right.
I think I take this interpersonal relationships one.
Okay,
What did
excellent.
you call it? Divorce and fidelity?
Yes. Uh-huh. And so the owner is Helma for that one. I would like to own the shock. Can I own the shock? Anyone really? Okay.
Sure.
So
If we want to shuffle the ownership, then I guess I can take the value of labor.
and
Then
that
run.
leaves me with food production.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing, and it says here two people, but we are just going to take one. Two people are going to, or sorry, one person is going to play a protagonist. And it doesn't matter who, but if you play a protagonist, you have to put your name in one of those white boxes. And as you can see, it is associated with an issue. So you can't choose the issue that you own. Right? You can't. So, for example, if I wanted to play a protagonist, I cannot put my name in the food production box.
So basically, we have to decide who of us plays a protagonist,
Yes,
and
who feels like playing a player character today? Are you guys feeling as though you're going to have a little bullseye painted on you? You know?
like always.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I don't know
Okay,
what it means, but
no problem.
like what I will do, but I guess
Uh-huh.
they are the like poor citizen who is being affected.
That sounds
Right.
great. And let me do my my sheet properly here, so I don't screw it up when I write on it again. Um, and let's see here. Okay, so I own food, and Helma owns that one, and Henna owns that one. The shock is the aliens living here with us, and I am the owner for that. Okay, so in that case, Henna, you can pick either the divorce and fidelity issue, or you can pick the food production issue. And that's what your character is. That's the situational problem that your character is completely uh, tormented by in some fashion.
I think I could go with the food.
Okay. So then you are going to. So yes, that's. I say next to in there. Huh. I wonder why I wrote next to. That's not right. Oh. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm not allowed to play a protagonist because I own the shock, so it had to be one of you. Um, so that means you're going into here, and so now our grid is finished. We know that Hannah is playing a protagonist regarding the food and production issue, as shocked by the knowledge that aliens are living here on Earth. So now we are going to make a few very short and easy lists or terms. Well, it would be short and easy if my papers were manageable. Okay. So in this case, we have I will begin. I have to say how it looks and works, and I will have one or two little details. These are called minutiae, and so for the shock, I own these and use them in play, or you can refer to me to ask about them and what they do. Um, I'm going to say that the aliens um, are smooth and hairless, um, with big eyes. Once now that they have been revealed, they can no longer hide. They look like themselves now. Maybe their disguise was removed, right, forever. And so they're very recognizable, and they have been. Uh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, all through society. So there's not like two in the government. They're all over the place. Okay, so those are two things that I'm writing down for the minutiae for the shock, and now for each issue you should do the same. Just one or two little details about the issue, especially as it has been affected by the shock. Hey, Sam.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello. It's so nice to see you. What's up?